Prepare yourself for List Off, the gaming podcast where your hosts, Brian and Ryan, rank the things they love. 3, 2, 1, List Off!
We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Yes, from tyranny, oppression, and persecution. We are fighting not from annihilation, but for women's bodily autonomy.
That's right.
That's right. But this week we are here to discuss the top 10 alien invasions. Sorry to end on a dour note, but it's something I feel very strongly about.
Yeah, no, both you and me for sure.
Yeah. So how's it going, Brian?
It's good. I am 100% happy that you chose to do the president's speech from Independence Day, because that's what I was going to do. I know.
Was it even a choice? But I was thinking there's so many like references to America in it, and like I'm not really happy with America at the moment, so I kind of wanted to leave that out of it.
Sure.
And in the speech, he says that we're not fighting from tyranny, oppression, or persecution. But no, like we very much are.
Yeah.
Like, we're at a stage in the game where you have to fight for freedom.
That's it.
Yeah. Anyway, Brian, on that note, how you doing? And tell me your pre-flight games this week.
Well, I have, but mum's the word, because it's Demon Souls, and I don't want to talk too much about it because we're going to do an episode on it, right?
Could you give me like generally how you feel about the game?
Sure.
Like where you are maybe?
Why I just beat Phalanx, which is just a big goopy shielded.
What'd you call him? Would you message me?
I mean, it autocorrected, of course, to phallic. I guess I typed that too much.
Why did apparently your phone autocorrects to phallic. That's interesting.
No, it's a joke. I do that with you. I think, what was it? The Elden Ring bosses, I was doing the wrong names too. Margaret and a couple others. But no, I beat Phalanx, and then I had like 5,000 souls or something. And then I ran out into the next area, and then an archer shot me because I was trying to get away from some dragon.
That'll happen.
So and then I died 10 times after that, and I guess those souls are gone. I didn't figure out that you can go back to the Citadel Nexus thing to cash those in. So those are lost to time.
Yeah, you can only do that after you defeat Phalanx.
Okay.
After you defeat Phallic. And like, I know 5,000 souls this early in the game feels like a lot. It is a lot, but it's a pittance. Like you can get those back in no time. Don't be discouraged. And this game it has a certain pace. So take your time.
Well, I think I'm a different class than what I tried in Elden Ring, and I feel way more powerful already. So that is encouraging, because I was having a hard time with whatever mage class that I chose for Elden Ring.
Are you a mage class?
I am the guy with the sword and shields.
Okay.
I feel like it's a knight, I want to say.
Yeah, there are a few, I think, in Demon Souls, but
it's one of the first ones that you can pick at the top of the list.
Yeah, it's not a bad class. I will say the magic class in Demon Souls is pretty OP.
Okay.
Definitely. Like way more so than Elden Ring.
Right. Yeah. And it's a much, much, much prettier game, so that is helpful in my endeavor here. But that's it. I don't want to talk too much more, because we're going to dedicate an entire episode to it once I either beat it or get significantly farther, whichever comes first.
Definitely looking forward to it.
What about you? Any games this week?
Yeah. So I have the house to myself. I can make whatever noises I please right now.
Wow.
It's pretty interesting. So I had it. I'll have it to myself for a little while here. My family's out of town, and I played and beat Prey, the more recent Arcane title that's on Game Pass, not the original Prey for the Xbox 360.
Right.
And it's really, really good. I played it all the way through. I didn't realize how much choice is in it until after I beat the game. So it is something that I wish I kind of knew going into, like that there were more options on how I approach the game and how I play the game and the decisions I make throughout. Because I always tend to play how I would, right? Like preserve human life, that sort of thing, right? But there are definite routes you could take, and it wasn't apparent until the end that those decisions have a major effect on the outcome.
I see.
And it was really cool. Definitely peek behind the curtain kind of moment at the end of the game, and it keeps you guessing throughout. It was my first time playing an arcane game, who, you know, everybody knows and speaks really highly about them doing Dishonored and this and Deathloop, and I figured I liked that Redfall trailer. I kind of wanted to see what kind of games they put out, what they're all about, and I had heard good things about Prey, but I'm really glad I played it. It wasn't very long. I think like 16 or so hours, but I got all the time in the world, man.
And it's one of those alien invasion games, right?
It is an alien invasion game, and it will not be on my list because I'm talking about it now.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Other than that, I think you'll be surprised by this one. I also bought, so, you know, Father's Day happened, right?
It did.
That was a thing. Yeah. And I got a gift card to Amazon. So I know Brian is adamantly against physical games. However, if I have a gift card to Amazon, I will happily buy a physical game. And it just so happened there was one I've been wanting to play, and it was priced at $24.99.
Hold on,
just under
before you say it.
Yeah,
you can get a gift card with a gift card. Wait, can you? You might not be able to.
Yeah, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, sometimes they restrict that.
Yeah, but I ended up getting Resident Evil Village.
Oh, okay. Very good.
And I am about, gosh, I want to say 3 or 4 hours into it, and I love this game, man.
Yeah, so it's on the Steam sale right now for $30. I was kind of considering it.
I think it's definitely worth 30. I mean, I haven't played it all the way through yet. You know, you may want to wait until the final outcome and my opinion on it then, but I'm actually really surprised with how much I'm enjoying it. I did enjoy 7.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something about first person horror that is so much more effective than third person.
Totally.
Like gameplay wise, I think it's no contest. I like third person gameplay. But when it comes to feeling like you're scared, feeling terror, man, first person is just so effective.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, like, you know, Resident Evil 7 and this one are a perfect example of it. And they do such a good job with the sound. Like there's always rustling near you, or you hear like low growls, and it is very atmospheric. And as I mentioned, I'm home alone, so that that goes a long way when the lights are out and it's late at night, you know. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. It had the coolest intro out of any Resident Evil game I've ever played. It was just really surprising, something I wouldn't expect from these games.
How many times have you gotten your hand chopped off at this point?
Oh, I don't want to spoil anything, Brian, but I will say it's happened.
Okay. My
hand or pieces of my hand have been lost.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely a thing, right? Like it's memeable. And yeah, there, you know, have you played the demo? Did you play the demo?
I played the demo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I kind of made it through all that part, and I made it through Castle Dimitrescu. And yeah, you know, Lady D, man.
Yeah.
All it's cracked up to be.
So you are not going to wait then for the complete edition that's coming out later?
No, I'm not waiting for that, but I will maybe get the DLC.
Sure.
I kind of was I really liked what they showed of that DLC, and I really liked that it's the style they seem to be going for with that. So that's kind of part of the motivation for me picking this up, but I'm definitely enjoying it, and I can't wait to see more of it. Progressing through the game, I will assuredly have it beaten by next week because, like I said, I have all the time in the world.
And that's a pretty short experience as far as I've heard.
Yeah, from what I've heard as well, it's something I'll get through pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's one that I've had my eye on for sure, especially with this Steam sale going on. They are pushing these Steam Deck games at me, and I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, I shouldn't say get it. I should say beat Demon Souls.
Well, so no, that is the pact
yeah.
that I'm
Right.
so I might buy some games, but I wanna actually do Demon Souls and give it my old college try here.
So it'll be the only game you're playing.
Yeah.
That's excellent. I think it's a great game for that. Like, get absorbed in that world, man.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Yeah, I love that game.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, that should do it for our pre-flight checklist. Without further ado, I say we go ahead and get into our top 10 alien invasions.
Okay.
Sips on liquid. What is that, Brian? What are you drinking tonight?
Kayla got me a strawberry milkshake.
Man, I'm jealous. You're like Samuel L. Jackson.
That's right.
Milkshakes in Pulp Fiction. Say what again?
Also, we've been watching Incredibles 1 and 2 back to back with my son, and
that's
all he wants to watch. So
those are good movies. Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson.
That's what that's what brought
Here's
it to mind.
my super suit. Right. I watched No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems so. What is it? 3 hours long?
Maybe. I did watch it in increments, so yeah, it didn't seem long, but I watched it in 2 sittings. But I definitely think you should watch Spectre before you watch No Time to Die.
I'm
they go
several
hand
movie
in
behind.
hand. Yeah,
Okay, which film franchise is better, James Bond or Mission Impossible?
For me personally,
yes.
Okay, so I love the recent James Bonds. I swear we're getting into our alien invasion here, guys. Like,
this is a little interlude.
I love the recent James Bonds, but I think those Mission Impossible movies are pretty good. I'm going to say James Bond though. I really am. Yeah, because I think that I enjoy the Daniel Craig Bonds better than I enjoy Mission Impossible.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. Mission Impossible all the way. Those movies are so fun.
That's nice. I'm happy you feel that way, Brian. All right, Brian, here we go. Our top 10 alien invasions in video games to celebrate Independence Day. Welcome to Earth.
That's right.
Yeah, gosh, he's really good at hitting people.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
That was more of a punch in the movie.
For sure.
Than a slap.
Yes, he showed less respect to the alien or more respect to the alien, depending on how you feel about slaps. But want to start us off with your honorable mention, Brian?
Absolutely, I do. So my honorable mention comes from Star Fox 64, and it is specifically the all-range battle where it's that like pyramid thing, and it's just a whole bunch of the little drones flying around, and the all-range mode is where you actually have free 360-degree flight all around the battlefield, so you're not going on that on rails, and there's just so much talking that's going on, and you know you're fighting the other team of misfits, and they're just gabbing the whole time, talking about your dad and just generally causing a ruckus. But it felt like Independence Day in that, you know, the scenes where there's just like a whole bunch of things flying around and you can't really keep track of it all, or like a Star Wars battle. So that was just a really exciting thing to experience in that 3D space.
So is that an alien? I guess everybody, because everybody's from different planets.
So that's why I put this as my honorable mention, because this is the one where it's like, I mean, they're alien to this area, I think.
Right. And we never said they have to be invading Earth.
Right. Just alien invasions.
Alien invasions. So that's a good pick. I did not expect Star Fox on any of our lists to be. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of surprised me already, right off the bat. Yeah. Good pick, man.
Thank you.
So my honorable mention, Brian, it has to be Space Invaders.
Nice.
Yeah, the original Space Invaders. And it's only my honorable mention because they were never truly a threat to humanity.
Okay.
Their military formations were too predictable. They did make up for it in speed eventually, but they took a long time to get there. Like after multiple levels, they finally were fast. But yeah, man, really, really predictable. Never really had a shot at taking over Earth, but respect for invading it. to those little pixelated grabby claw crab looking things.
Right.
Yeah, Alien Space Invaders. I'm calling them Alien Invaders. Space Invaders was a lot of fun. It's like the go-to, right? Like we're here talking about alien invasions, Space Invaders,
exactly.
man. Yeah,
That's
absolutely. Had to make the list.
That's
Had
like
to make
the
the list.
quintessential alien invasion video game.
Well, it's definitely the first one I remember playing. Yeah, and I was like, oh, what a cool like back then, right? It's ridiculous to look at it now and think of it in any grand way.
Right.
But it was like, oh, like what an awesome idea, like aliens attacking our planet and we are the last hope to defend it. And and every time they got to those bottom little blockers, they would just like crunch right through it and your defenses would disappear. It was like harrowing at the time.
A lot of it imagination in that storyline you just gave us, but yes.
Well, got to make it interesting.
Right. I feel like that game and pretty much every game of that time, the box art depicts this incredible scene and just like this painting of epic battles and stuff, and it's just like, okay,
it's all like hand painted, like exactly, like you are the last defense for Earth,
right?
And then you see little pixels.
That's a great pick. Love it. Gotta have it on here. All right, well, getting into the list proper, my number 10 is a game called Body Harvest. Are you familiar with this game?
I am familiar with this game.
So, this is an N64 game, and it is rough by today's standards. It was rough by the standards when I played it on the N64. Thankfully, this was just a rental from Blockbuster for me, and this is definitely an instance where the box art got me. It made me interested. It's just this planet and a big bug just like taking it over. And I thought, man, that looks so cool. And you could flip over the box and see screenshots. Body Harvest is not a good game, but it is a good alien invasion because it's just a bunch of huge bugs. It really is reminiscent of Starship Troopers, I would say. Because
Which one came first?
So I think they might have been the same year because I think they were 97. Let me see. Body Harvest. Interesting. Game.
Yeah, this is professional podcasting.
Hey, man.
No, we got to know.
Stuff.
Yeah.
98. So I think, and wasn't Starship Troopers 97?
Oh, here we go. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
It all sounds like 97 to me.
Yeah. Yep. 97 for Starship Troopers and then 98 for Body Harvest. So
I'm 100% sure this was in development.
Exactly.
When Starship Troopers came out.
Right. Though. And there was probably some influence from the movie for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a rough game, but it was the cool part was that you could be on foot, you could be in planes, you could be in tanks. You had like all sorts of different vehicles that you could actually get in, and then the bugs were pretty varied. There were like, little small ones that would attack you in the beginning levels, but then it got up to these giant creatures, like planet-sized creatures that you were having to actually kill. And it had some elements of like kind of like hub worlds where you could like get your gear together, talk to other humans and stuff. So there were elements there that if it were, not on the N64, probably would have been a little better implementation of that. There's a lot of good ideas there,
Yeah, absolutely. I do remember enjoying this game for sure.
Yeah. Horrible draw distance, I think, was one of the kind of a Superman 64
product of the time.
Exactly.
Product of the
what
time.
Are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. So here we go, right into our list proper with my number 10. Well, I guess
I already got us there, but yes.
You already got us there. But here we go with my list proper. Look, man, aliens are cunning, right?
Yes.
Extremely cunning. They devise the best strategies to take over Earth, and they've even invaded by disguising their true form and mutating into pinball machines.
Oh, God.
Because I'm talking about Alien Crush.
Oh, jeez.
It could be argued that this is not a true alien invasion game, but it definitely involves aliens.
Perfect.
And pinball. And I it's a game like, when else would I have the opportunity to talk about it? I know we're not doing a top pinball games list. So this is a really, really good pinball game. If you have any appreciation for, I mean, I play it casually. I'm not like a pinball wizard. But this, you remember the NES version of pinball, right? Have you ever played that?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Nothing's coming to mind.
Imagine that, but like 1,000 times better. And that's what this game was. It really is. People still think of it to this day as like the best pinball video game. And there were sequels made, pseudo sequels, Demon's Crush. There was a whole Crush series actually, but this was on the TurboGrafx 16. And man, I sank some hours into this. Very much inspired by H.R. Giger, like that alien look to it. But
Scorn.
No, it's not Scorn. Yeah, Scorn. Think Scorn, but pinball, and that's what you're getting here. Yeah, maybe not as goopy as Scorn,
oh god,
but maybe more fun. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see when Scorn drops. Yeah, man. But Alien Crush is my number 10.
I'm unfamiliar with it. So it's straight pinball, right?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's straight pinball. You know, they have like little sections of the board that are more playable than an actual like pinball table, but pinball machine. I told you I'm not a pinball wizard,
right?
But yeah, Alien Crush, man, it was a lot of fun. Do you have like a favorite pinball machine from your life?
I have played probably 2 pinball machines in my entire life. I played T2, I think there was.
That's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one.
Is there a Jurassic Park one? I might have played something like that.
I'm sure there is. There's one. If you could pick a property, a major property, I'm sure there's a pinball table for it. Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing now. Like they're making new pinball machines with way more advanced mechanics than ever before.
It's a good time to get into pinball, guys.
Yeah, they're only $7,000.
Right, Adam's Family Pinball.
That's the one. Yeah,
that's the one that I really, really like that one. Yeah.
Pinball's cool. I don't. It's not my favorite thing, but the people who do it well and know what they're doing, like there's an actual storyline basically. If you hit the right things, like things happen in a certain order.
Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty clever. And to like figure that out, I mean, what are you gonna look that up on the internet and watch someone do a pinball machine? So like people figured this out over time.
I bet there is a Independence Day pinball machine.
I would imagine so, probably. All right, good pick. I like it. I did not expect a pinball style game on here, so that's cool. All right.
I try to surprise.
Yeah, well, my pick here for number 9 is probably unsurprising, but it is Duke Nukem 3D. And those alien scum busted up his ride, and they're coming down to Earth to kick some ass. Duke Nukem 3D is a fantastic game. I love this game.
Yeah, I'll move mine to 9 too. I had Duke Nukem on my list. I'll move it here too.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this game was surprisingly good. It's very much in that 3D Realms id style games of this time 100%. Period. So Hexen and Heretic and.
It's got to be like the same engine as all of those games,
Doom
right?
And Quake, like it all feels the same, out of the same pot. Which I know that people are, no, Doom and Quake are totally different things. Anyway, Duke Nukem was just a wacky game. It felt like you were like a powerful dude just kicking alien butt, but those aliens were difficult. I mean, there were some gnarly creatures out there, the pig cops and things flying around.
Yeah.
It had a pretty scary vibe to it as a young kid playing it, and you know my foray into it is on the N64, which you know what are you gonna do with that? But
I was the same for me.
Yeah. I think they had the same 4-player co-op, which was pretty cool of the time. But yeah, you went to a lot of different locations in this. Like you were actually boarding alien aircraft and saving babes there. So yeah, I
saving babes.
Hey man, yeah, I was very censored on the N64 if I remember correctly, but yeah, they were in some like big green goopy alien pod.
Yeah, it was censored, but I remember, like you said, you go to some locations. I specifically remember going to like strip clubs in that game and being like, wow. This is wild.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm too young to be in here. Yeah.
Yeah. Like little private rooms. Yeah. I remember all that.
Yeah.
Surprisingly difficult game.
Very, very difficult at times, but yeah, exactly. We all remember, you said, a lot of difficult enemies, and it could be scary. I'm sure everybody who's played this game remembers the first time they saw that giant alien on the football field,
Oh
right?
my gosh, that was fun.
Yeah, and it was a good boss fight. Like, there was pattern memorization and avoiding attacks. It was a genuinely well designed boss fight from my memory. I mean, I probably go back now and hate it, right? But I remember like having to figure it out to beat it. Yeah,
I remember just like tossing a bunch of pipe bombs and then shooting rockets, and then you get to kick his eyeball out of the
right. That's
out of
right.
his skull,
Yeah,
make a field goal with it. Yeah,
yeah.
What a wild game, but yeah,
It was
good alien invasion game.
Yeah, Duke Nukem's always a good pick, man.
Yeah, maybe only for this alien invasion pick, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Not for like good protagonists.
No, not at all. And it only goes downhill from here. One other thing, I did play the Game Boy Advance version, and
of course you did.
That was a ride. It was cool to see those kind of graphics on a little itty bitty handheld, but
dude, you're so funny with these ports. These like handheld ports. What was it? So far we're up to this on. You played this on Game Boy Advance, right? Duke Nukem 3D on Game Boy Advance.
It was its own. It was its own Duke Nukem game. It was like a new one for Duke Nukem Advance, I think it was.
Okay, Perfect Dark, Killer Instinct on handhelds.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
GBC.
That must have been awful.
It was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's both of our number 9s. Why don't you take us into your number 8?
Okay, so I also had Space Invaders on my list because you got to have it on there. And this was one of those first kind of like arcade games that I ever played, and it's a great game in its own right. And again, the imagination and storyline that you can create is important. So that's all we had back then is attributing these things to little pixels, but what are you gonna do?
What's your experience with Space Invaders? Like the arcade?
That's about it. Yeah, I don't think I ever maybe on the Game Boy Advance. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I had all sorts of arcade collections on there.
It's true.
But I think arcade is kind of where I dabbled in it to that extent.
Yeah. I had it on the 2600 and arcades, of course, as well. Yeah.
So now a family friend of ours did have an Atari, and I don't know. Do you know the Atari lineage, like the systems?
I mean, the most popular one was the 2600, and then I think there was the 5200 that was kind of like the NES contemporary, but it did not sell well. I think it even came out prior to the NES in the States. Yeah, there were a few others as well, but
it must have been like 2600. So this one was
brown
like and had
with like the wood.
Yes.
Yeah, it had that's the 2600 for sure. Little top loader, like it had a joystick with a single button on it.
Okay, yeah. So kind of wild that he had a bunch of he had like 15 games.
Yeah,
which I don't know. That's kind of weird to. He was I don't know. When I was that old, I think he was probably like 30. So he was probably like me now, like had all these games.
Right.
And, there was one game that I wish I could find because I don't know what it's called, but it was like a dungeon crawling one where you would find keys and open doors.
Is it Pitfall?
No.
Oh.
Not Pitfall.
Okay.
Pitfall's a side scroller, right?
Right.
This was like a Zelda
it's a dungeon
top
crawl.
down.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
I want to find that because I want to hear those sounds.
Adventure? Again. It might be Adventure.
Maybe. I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. This is a long time ago for me.
Right.
So yeah, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Sure.
We'll figure it out. Good pick, though. Good pick.
Thank you.
So moving on to my number 8, you mentioned Starship Troopers earlier.
Yes.
And if Starship Troopers taught me anything in life, it's to do my part.
Yes.
But also that aliens who look like insects are super dangerous. Good thing we have the Earth Defense Force to save us from annihilation. So this is the Earth Defense Force games. These are really cheesy, very flawed in gameplay, but for some reason they are just a ton of fun. It is like
what is the genre? I don't even know.
It's third person like shooter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a third person action game. You're tasked with defending Earth from this onslaught of bugs aliens of varying sizes and differing threats, and they go for different targets, and you kind of move around the map to where you're needed. And and mount the defense to take down these bugs, switching between weapons. It's very much like action oriented, but it's a lot of fun. I've only played one of them, and I had a great time with it. But I think if we're talking alien invasions, these guys were a huge threat to Earth continuously. They keep coming back. Somehow these games keep getting made. And I'm pretty sure they're true accounts of the brave Earth Defense Force defending Earth from the alien invasion. Nice. So I'm very thankful for them. Absolutely. I mean, time and time again, they have repelled these visitors from other worlds.
There's so many of those games. I feel like I hear about a new one every year, and I don't know what number we're up to at this point.
And I had played one years and years and years ago. I couldn't even tell you which one it was, but I remember a friend of mine was streaming one, and I tuned in, and this was like maybe like 2 years into the Switch life. Like, so you had things like Splatoon out, you had really, really good looking games, and then I saw him playing this game, and it looked like it was from the generation prior. even on Switch, like it did not look good. Ooh. And I mean, that's kind of what these games are cheesy, and like they're known for not exactly being the best quality, but they always seem to sell because they are fun to play.
Sure.
And like that's really what matters, is if you can play a game and have fun, then it's worthy of your time.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Very cool. Good pick. I've always wanted to play because it seems like a very successful franchise, but then I didn't even know what it was, so I don't even know if it's for me.
Hey, Toph, thanks for the follow there, man. Really appreciate that. Brian still doesn't have it set up to alert us when people follow.
I don't know how to do that. Maybe I set it on a different one, because I saw that and I was like, why didn't it pop? Anyway, I'll have to figure that one out.
Brian. It's all good. I'm going to see if Earth Defense Force is on Game Pass for you, though, while you're talking. Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 7 is XCOM, Enemy Unknown.
Of course it is.
Yes. Yeah. So this game is great. I've never beat it. I've played, I don't know, like a dozen hours of it, and I really like it. I love this style of gameplay where it's very strategy driven. You know, you're taking turns, taking cover, and Mario plus Rabbids is the other big game in this kind of genre that I think a lot of people have played at this point. But we're talking alien invasions, and there are no aliens in Rabbids, so
unless the Rabbids are aliens.
Maybe. I mean, they are invading the Mario world. Wasn't that kind of the gist of it? In the beginning, I think there was some story beats about that. But yeah, XCOM.
Yeah, sorry, man.
XCOM aliens are like stereotypical aliens, I would say. The gameplay of this game, I think, is really what shines for me. I just love just taking cover, taking turns, doing different strategies, and then you can die. You can have people on your team just like be forever gone, kind of like Fire Emblem, which is wild.
Like bound to happen too, right?
Exactly.
Like your infantry is basically there to be killed, is my understanding, right? Like you send them out with the knowing that they probably will die.
Exactly. Yeah. So just that gameplay mechanic is difficult to like wrap your head around sometimes, because in video games you always want to do the best and not lose anyone and try to get that 100%, and it's just not possible in most of these types of games.
Yeah, these are so my type of game, and it's astonishing I haven't really played them.
Yeah, and I think I kind of fall into that same pit because I know I would really, really like them. So Mario and Rabbids is the most that you've done, right? Like that's the genre.
No, I mean, like I played other Advance Wars. I played a lot of turn-based strategy.
But I mean, in this specific style where you're like moving in a 3D space and then like planning.
It's the most recent one that comes to mind. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I played others, but it's the only one I'm thinking of at this moment with all this pressure on.
There's Gears Tactics as well, which I've been kind of interested in. But yeah.
I do like the style. I'm really looking forward to Midnight Suns, which is seems to be a little different, but
right.
Very, very much looking forward to that as well. And I'm looking forward to the new Mario plus Rabbids. There was a big showcase about it today, the day we are recording. and I have not seen it yet.
Oh,
But
I saw the Nintendo version of it, but yeah, I guess Ubisoft had
you did their own thing. Yeah, I kind of don't want to know more.
Yeah.
Like I'll wait till it comes out and see what's what.
Did you see the Nintendo Direct mini of it?
Yeah, I watched it. It was whatever.
Yeah.
Not a lot for me there.
Right.
But
did you know that you can slide tackle 3 people in a row and then do a super move?
Right, and then they'll be gone.
Yeah.
That's it. You could hit them with that. Did you know that you could hit a bomb and then throw the bomb and it'll blow up?
I saw that. Now I do know that.
Yeah. Bombs blow up.
That's right.
We are sex bomb. That's Scott Pilgrim.
I do.
Anyway,
I do know that.
Oh, cool. Good job, Brian.
I've seen the movie.
All right, very good. Very good. So moving on to my number 7. It is Area 51, the arcade game. I have had very few occasions to talk about my love for this game. I used to just cheese quarters into this thing.
This is the gun light
constantly.
or light gun game,
light
right?
gun.
Okay.
Well, the gun light gun. Yeah, I loved this game. I would get like shoot all the windows in the warehouse so that you get the special bonus level at the end. Like I knew everything about it. I would like not miss. I could go like the whole warehouse level without missing. I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed this game for some reason.
Do they say really reload in this game? Reload.
I think they do say it. Yeah.
I love that.
But man, it's astonishing how much time I put into this, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe because I was like good at it. I don't know. Maybe that's the only reason why. But yeah, so in this, you are a member of the. Get this.
No, you're giving me the story of Area 51.
No, well, you got to know the team name. Okay. You got to know what you're like, who you're fighting with. You have to know your brethren. You are a member of the Special Tactical Advanced Alien Response. So that is STAR, not STARS.
Not STARS.
It's very different. You see, it's very different. Yes, they might dress like STARS team in Resident Evil, but their name is very clearly STAR. So it's obviously not the same thing.
Jeez.
It's not. It's just not. Are there alien zombie humans? Yes, but it's different. It's totally different. Okay.
We side-skirted copyright claims.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you have aliens that shoot at you too, which is, I mean, if they weren't dangerous before, they're definitely dangerous now. I think this is the first time we're seeing an honest threat to the planet Earth and our well-being. Yeah, just all sorts of enemies. They fire rockets, they punch. You have aliens that punch. It was just so much fun. Like, it's hard to replicate that arcade feeling. And it's definitely hard to replicate like being young and being good at a video game for all to see.
Yeah.
And that was something I very much had with Area 51.
Nice.
Yeah. It was cool when people go up and they're like, oh, like, wow, what? I didn't even know there was a bonus stage, or like, just, really like, damn, like this guy's not missing the shot. And it's like, yeah, at like 15 years old, when that's what's going on, you're like, yeah, buddy, like, check me out.
Wow.
I'm the coolest guy in the arcade.
I would walk up and think you're cool for sure.
That's all. That means the world to me, Brian.
Nice.
You don't know how much that means to me.
Area
51, man. Yeah.
Good job. I have played that at birthday parties, and that's about it. But it's a good one for sure.
It is a good one.
All right. Well, my number 6, we are moving right along here. Little series called Mass Effect.
Oh, that little series.
Gotta be on my list. You know that. So yes, there are a lot of planets. Yes, there are, there are actual alien invasions in this game, and alien invasions on Earth for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Reapers. They are a threat that is, against everyone here. It's not just humanity. It's every race that is in the galaxy. So, I mean, there's your big bad alien invasion. The Reapers, these huge ships, coming to just take over. I feel like I can't. Yeah,
you don't
really
want to spoil it. I know, but like, come on, I kind of know what the scene is here.
It's not a new concept.
Right.
But basically they are. It's a pattern. They come, they eat, they leave. Right. So they come to new galaxies, they destroy, gather resources, and then like this happens over and over again. And I'm pretty sure like it keeps happening to this galaxy because
Right.
I feel like you find recordings or like a VI, I think it was, saying like, yeah, like they've been here before. Like
Right.
they did this before.
Well,
No.
yeah, even I think where I was in the first game, you see remnants of it.
Right.
So, like they definitely, there's like an archaeological dig you're at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is it's been going on for millennia apparently.
Right.
So it's a huge threat, and yeah, the game's, it takes 3 of them to get to some sort of conclusion, red, blue, or green, however you want to look at it. But yeah,
but your choices matter, Brian.
The choices do. Okay, I feel like this is a lost scenario.
No, I'm kidding. Look,
no, I know you are.
It doesn't matter if there's only 3 options for the ending.
Right.
The entire story that gets you there is affected by the choices you make, right? Yeah,
yes.
And that's pretty good, like storytelling,
right?
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a lot to it, and so many cool characters that you meet along the way, and the fact that you can kind of like keep some throughout this entire series is kind of wild. So yeah, Mass Effect, great alien invasions, and great aliens altogether. I feel like there's so many cool races in this game that, I mean, it gives Star Wars a run for its money, in my opinion.
Very unique looking too. Yeah. I did enjoy that, even in the first game. I really enjoyed that. I should probably continue to play through this. This will not be on my list. There are a few that are not on my list because I knew Brian would handle it.
Sure.
And
we have concluded, though, we both missed Gears. So
yes,
if you're a gearhead, then that's not on here.
I had Gears on my list, and I'm like, well, Brian will have that, so I'll take it off.
But they're like not invading; they're already here, kind of thing. So deep underground.
It's definitely an invasion, though.
Yeah,
they just invaded at a different time.
That's right, like from a different direction.
Right. It is deserving of the list.
Yes. I just completely forgot about Gears. To be honest.
Did not forget. I was sure you'd have it.
Right.
I was sure you'd have it. Anyway, moving on to my number 6. This game was powered by the Turok 2 engine, so it harnessed the full power of the Nintendo 64. I'm of course talking about South Park 64.
Oh, jeez. Great.
Yeah, so this is a green comet that brings aliens. It causes turkeys to mutate, and it also makes big-headed clones of the people who live in your small little mountain town. Which, like, video games really liked big heads in the late 90s.
Yeah.
That was something that was everywhere. Yeah. Tons of alien weapons, killer cows. Just don't get probed. I really did enjoy South Park, the video game, at the time. Obviously, part of it was because I enjoyed the show South Park at the time. So
I was a little young when the game came out to like appreciate anything there. So
yeah, no, for me, I was prime age for South Park humor,
right?
And at the time season 1 was released, and I was all about it for a long period of my life.
Did you play Stick of Truth or Fractured Butthole?
So I did try playing Stick of Truth. Okay. I have it. I did start it, and I couldn't get through it. I think I've matured,
I see,
as it were, and that certain level of humor just doesn't work for me anymore.
Sure.
No, I don't think it's that. I don't know. I'm not a big, how I am about RPGs in general.
Right.
Not the biggest like RPG player at this moment in my life. So I couldn't really stick with it. But yeah. This game, however, was...
This is the pinnacle of South Park games.
It's definitely not one of the worst South Park games, but it's also not the best.
Right.
But at the time, man, it was cool. I got to play with 4 of my friends. We got to pick the characters we enjoyed and mess around with crazy guns and have fun and throw snowballs at each other.
Nice.
So yeah, it was very, very cool. And of course, like, all intelligent aliens would definitely invade rural Colorado first. Like, yeah, obviously. Like, that is the heart of America.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Very good. I would not have pegged that as a alien invasion game, but you've played it and I haven't, so you probably know better.
Yeah.
All right, my number 5 definitely has aliens, and they are definitely invading, and that is Halo. Just Halo.
Of course.
I would say, yeah, Halo 1 is where we really don't know anything about the aliens. Yeah,
Right.
but we do know that they are also on this ring planet, Halo, and yeah, this was obviously one of the most influential games of all time,
Yeah.
and it has all sorts of backstory that is still to this day being filled out with Halo TV show and comics
Right.
and books and just a plethora of games. It's a whole universe that they've created here, and who knows if they had plans, all this from the beginning, but they definitely had a good base to work off of. But yeah, I think, what am I going to say about Halo? There's so
Right.
many cool things about it. I mean, I remember playing it and thinking like, wow, there's like actual tactics being employed here. There's
Right.
there's grunts that act a certain way, and they are like kind of gung ho if they have an elite, but if the elite dies, then they like are frantic and
comic relief.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's so many different tactics that are at play that you don't really think about, but then as you are playing the game, you're like, oh my gosh, like they flanked me because they had an elite with a sword that was invisible. So yeah,
Right.
I think those aliens have been some of the most creative ones that we've seen in a video game, and you really got a sense of their hierarchy. There's all sorts of alien races in all of the across all of the Halo games, and they all are battling each other for different reasons. I feel like Halo Infinite had a pretty low alien invasion component, and the brutes never really seemed that interesting to me.
Yeah, I could see that. I could. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts on Halo
Sure.
Infinite. Like, I enjoyed going through it, but like their attempts at boss fights were pretty lame.
Those were so silly.
It was like not well designed whatsoever. It was just
Right.
like, hey, why don't we put a brute here who's a little stronger and has more HP,
Right.
and you're in a confined space,
And he has a name.
right, and he has a name
And
yeah,
a
exactly.
hammer.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one we all remember. Apparently,
That's the one.
must have worked. It must have worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, Halo is good. Lots of aliens to choose from too.
That's it.
Yeah, the Covenant.
Yeah.
Good pick. Not on my list
Because you knew I was gonna have it.
because yeah, that's good thing you did.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you failed me with Gears, my friend. Anyway, moving on to my number 5. My number 5 is the Resistance games. No, the Chimera from the Resistance games. There are no jokes here. I know I've been making jokes with my picks, but there are no jokes to be made here. These aliens are genuinely scary because they won. They won.
Oh wow. I don't know anything about this franchise, so.
And the little remnants left of humanity are struggling to find ways to survive and like really holding on to diminishing hopes of one day actually winning. It's a very like somber story being told in these games, but yeah, it's genuinely like the longer, like the later entries in the series, especially, like it's not feel good stuff going on in those. It reminds me kind of like the story beats that Wolfenstein takes, except with aliens instead of Nazis.
Okay.
Like definitely go in being like serious stuff happens to characters you like, and yeah, but it's good. They're good games. Yeah.
You played, what is there, 3 of them at this point?
There are 3. I have not played the third, but
Okay.
I really should. I'm very familiar with like the story though, because in the days we live in, you don't have to necessarily play a video game to see the video game.
Sure.
So I have followed the story beats of all 3, and
Yeah, I have no history with this franchise whatsoever. It was always one that just like eluded me. It felt like PlayStation's pseudo answer to Halo that never really.
I could see you
gained
being
that
a Halo
traction.
fan. Yeah, I could see you feeling that way because of your fandom for Halo.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's very much how it was at the time. Like this was
Right.
marketed as their competition to Halo. And
Sure.
I don't think it really did either game justice.
I also always got it confused with Killzone, to be honest. Which I feel like Killzone's the better franchise, especially since it's, kind of still has legs.
Debatable.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what, Killzone Mercenary or Shadowfall? That was the last big one that we saw. So,
Right.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I also think just because a series gets more entries, maybe it sold better. Maybe there was a lower expectation, and that's why it got more entries. It's hard to say, but I know Killzone was huge for a while.
Well, I'm glad that Guerrilla has moved on to a better franchise with Horizon. That's
I
what
really want to play that this year.
I think you need to play
play
it because I feel like enough time's passed for you for Elden Ring to like have an appreciation for it, because it is a very different game, and you can play it with that in mind. And
I can't do open worlds right now. Like, even the thought of it crushes me.
Yeah, but just do it like I did and play the main story.
Maybe I should. Maybe
Honestly.
I will. Yeah.
You liked the first game, right?
That's how I played the first game too.
Just do that. Do that. Maybe wait until like October, but just play through it.
But then, like, if inevitably somebody needs help saving an animal, and I'm like,
no,
I'll do it.
Who cares about that person?
I care about the animal.
Oh, no, man! You harvest animals for bigger pouches and stuff.
Well, those are like not the machine animals.
No, I'm talking about like rabbits and stuff.
Oh, that's true. You do. Too. Yeah, yeah. There are no pets in Horizon, so I'm fine. I'll kill all the animals. Yeah, Perfect. That's fine. Yeah, they're not domesticated, so like no worth.
Exactly. All right, my turn.
Your turn.
Okay, I'll take it away with my number 4, another H game, and that's Half-Life 2.
Yes, you're coming through for me.
All right. So, I had absolutely no history with the Half-Life franchise until the Orange Box, and everyone lost their minds over, rightfully so, over the Orange Box and all the games that were in there. But I played through it all at that point. I played through, all the different episodes that were in there. I'm still waiting for episode 3. I mean, at this point, like, who cares? It's the franchise has been gone for so long. I think I told you I played Half-Life Alyx a little bit. It never felt like I had the right headset to really get into it, because I have the Rift 1 or something.
Right.
So it's a lot to set up cameras and cords and stuff. But Half-Life 2, that was just a super smooth experience. I love the Source engine for first-person shooters. It's very smooth. And great alien encounters in that game. I mean, just head crabs upon head crabs. I remember the ending sequences of that game being really fun. Kind of like, not open world, but open areas where you're just
for that time too. It
exactly.
Was,
it was a monstrous area. I forget, was it Dog? Was that the big robot's name? That was just like sequences of that at the end, and like huge, aliens coming in at that time.
At the end. Yeah,
exactly. And that was your cliffhanger at that point. But yeah, head crabs continue to be like a really fun part of that world, and a huge part of what makes it an alien invasion.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw like the YouTube video where the person figured out playing the head crabs noises backwards.
Oh,
or like
yeah.
Slowly, it was like backwards and in slow motion or something like that. Yeah,
and yeah. Like, and screaming, it was like, "Help me!" And
it's like, oh, the person's still in there.
Exactly. That's horrendous to think about.
Terrifying stuff. Yeah, terrifying stuff.
And then the gravity gun. I mean, that's like one of the coolest weapons in video games.
Pretty cool. Cool. It does look like they might have something like that in Callisto Protocol. So
yeah, that's true.
Looking forward there.
I want to point out also Black Mesa. I don't know the lineage of that game, but did it start as like a fan thing and then
it was, I think, a fan thing. Okay. Yeah.
Because I played through that entire thing and loved it, because that's basically Half-Life 1, if I'm not mistaken.
It's relatively new, right?
I mean, 10 years ago new. But
Black Mesa, really? I didn't know it was that old.
I played it when I built my first computer, so yeah.
Oh wow, 2015. It says was the initial release date.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's close enough to 10 years ago, Brian.
I must have played some sort of like early access version of it, I think is what it is.
Yeah, maybe like there wasn't an official release because it was fan made,
right.
Until they got like the blessing from
Valve.
Valve.
Sure.
Yeah. Good pick though, man.
Thank you.
Had to make somebody's list, and I was like, don't let me down again.
Did you think I haven't not talked about Half-Life really at all, except for Alex, right?
I know you're a fan of Valve, and I know
see.
you're a fan of Valve games. And
Okay.
you talked about Half-Life Alex, you've talked about the orange box, and yeah, I had a feeling
Portal,
like
of course.
Portal,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah, definitely. So good pick
Thank
for
you.
sure. And my number 4, you couldn't have Alien Invasions without Xenomorphs. So I'm talking about Alien Isolation.
This would have been on my list if I had played the game, I'm sure.
Yeah, this game. Oh my gosh. I've said it. Unfortunately, I finished it. I played through it after we recorded our top 10 scariest games.
Because this would have been number 1.
This would have been number 1, without a doubt. And it goes to what I was talking about at the beginning of this episode. The first person is so effective for horror, and the tension this game creates is just terrible.
First person and also like no weapons.
Right. Well, you do have some, but you're not. You can only like defend yourself in the loosest sense of the word. I just feel like it's incredible to go back and think about the first 30 to 45 minutes of this game. There is no alien threat. In the first, I mean, spoiler alert, I guess. Whoops. Should have said that first. But anyway, yeah, like it's you're in this derelict space station, and it's very apparent that something happens. And obviously, you as the player know what kind of game you're getting into. So you go around feeling like the threat is there in every shadow, around every corner, in every air vent, when in reality, there's a very clear point in the game where the threat is now something you have to worry about. The xenomorph. But man, I moved real slowly through that first part of the game because the atmosphere is set so well, and they do such a good job with the sound and like the lighting and all of that, and just that environmental storytelling of this, what happened, and like the disarray you see around you as you venture further and further into this space station. Oh, such a good game. Such a scary game.
Yeah.
But had to make my list, man. Alien Isolation is my number 4.
Sweet. Love it.
Thank you.
I think one day I will play it. I feel like it's on Game Pass.
It is.
Or it had been, at least.
It was. I mean, I don't know if it still is, but it was.
It's also
that's how I
cheap,
played it.
So.
Yeah, it is. Always dirt cheap.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Demon Souls, straight away. Like, not...
yeah,
I will say, so for
Alien
Demon
Isolation.
Souls, I did just do the like 1 month of PlayStation, Deluxe Plus Experience Premium, and I feel like I just need to like go ahead and buy this game because I'm not going to be able to beat it in a month, and the more money I just like dump into it, the worse it is.
I'm sure it goes down to at least 40.
It does go down to 40, and it's been a while since it was that, so I feel like they should make it that. I don't know, man. I think I'm going to have to spend $70 on it, though.
No, just get it on sale. I mean, just wait. Just be patient. I don't know, but beat it. Beat it.
But what sale is coming? What
I don't
is coming
know.
up? That's the thing.
I don't know. Yeah. Tough call.
Yeah.
It is on Game Pass, by the way. Alien Isolation is on Game Pass.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. My number 3. It's dark. It's Perfect Dark.
I knew it was.
Yeah, that had to be on here. This one, so I had done my whole list without it, and then was like, wait, gotta have Perfect Dark on here.
I'm surprised it's only 3.
Oh, yeah. Well, the other 2 are big ones, too. Perfect Dark, oh man, what a game. I love Perfect Dark so much. I love GoldenEye as well, and I hear we're going to get a remaster. It's happening. Too many people are saying it's happening. But Perfect Dark is already the superior game for a variety of reasons. It has been remade. It is... Dude, okay. I have been vindicated because I mentioned them before. Oh, you can't even hear me. I'm going to say it anyway. I mentioned this person before. They're a YouTube streamer that does different playthroughs of GoldenEye with different challenges. They have said there's a GoldenEye remaster coming. They did a video on how to properly play GoldenEye and the settings that you are to choose. And
oh, stop. Don't get in. Don't go down this road, Brian.
I actually asked them like, okay, you're all correct except for you need to do inverted, and they were like, yeah, I mean, fine. But they did the 1.2 solitaire, which that's how you play GoldenEye. You have to move with your C buttons. You have to look around with your joystick. There is no other way to play it.
Okay.
Perfect Dark is a great alien invasion game because we get Elvis, we get
That's
the
true.
Skidar, okay? Yeah. We get them coming to Earth, invading even Carrington Institute itself, and man, was that an exciting sequence. I feel like there's so many cool points that you deal with the aliens. I mean, they're like, you deal with them on Air Force One of all places. Mm-hmm. I forget, what is it? Mr. Blonde is like, is I think he is a Skidar, like morphed into a human kind of thing. I forget exactly. You go to their mega ship, whatever warship they have. You do all the Independence Day things, essentially, which is, that's the mark of a good alien invasion in my book.
Of course.
But, oh man, I have gushed about Perfect Dark for as long as we've been doing this show. And I feel like, yes, it's very silly that we get very stereotypical alien with Elvis and a really wacky voice for him. But that's what makes this show so charming.
Yeah.
It's so silly. He's got an America vest. Like, he is so, like, rah America. Even though all of the, Joanna Dark, it's all people from, British. What, like, it doesn't make any sense. But
it doesn't have to.
Elvis just loves, I mean, he's named Elvis. That's all you need to know.
Well, it's a good pick.
Thank you. It had to be on my list. You knew that.
Of course I did. Of course I knew I was going to be on your list. So moving into my number 3, my number 3 is, yes, they have a variety that is physical in form, but it also involves an alien of the mind.
Oh.
And I, of course, am talking about Dead Space.
Ah, yes.
The necromorphs in Dead Space. Yeah, this was such a cool way to envision the aliens. The fact that they stumbled upon this thing that humans didn't understand, and it drove people to mutilate themselves and, transform themselves into necromorphs. But also there were physical forms of this alien.
Well, like they invaded the ship, right? I mean, that's
correct. Yeah. But yeah, this just one of my favorite games of all time. I'll say that right now. And I really am looking forward to the remake, but I'm also looking forward to Callisto Protocol. I don't think there's a better time to be a Dead Space fan than 2022, except maybe when the original Dead Space came out.
That was a cool time.
That was a very cool time. Yeah, but this was horrifying. These aliens were scary. And it's another thing with like that Alien Isolation did well with those false scares, right? Where they set things up well. They do a good job of setting your expectations only to subvert them.
Right.
With the vents and things coming out of them. And, you immediately think when you see an open vent, like, oh, there's going to be a necromorph that's coming out of there and you're ready. But they do such a good job balancing when those jump scares happen and when they don't. And I think that's important. It's not just about setting tension to have a jump scare, which a lot of games do now. A lot of horror games get in that groove of like, oh, like we're going to set something up where it's spooky and you're hearing spooky noises and it's coming. You just don't know when. And then it does always happen.
That's what movies do. Like movies give it away 20 seconds before they do it.
Or they do like, here's a fake jump scare. Look, it's just a cat.
Right.
And then it's like, now the real one's happening, right? So as soon as you breathe that sigh of relief, it is silly, but this didn't play those games with you. I mean, it played other games, more cerebral ones, I would think, as far as like subverting the expectations. You would have quiet moments. And I think that's important for any horror game, is to have those quiet moments where you're afraid of what's coming. And in actuality, nothing is.
Okay. Well, I think it's completely unfair that I clear a room and then save my game and then I get attacked. Do you remember that happening? That was totally not fair.
No, I don't really remember that happening.
It happens in Last of Us
Oh
Part 2
no,
as well.
yes. So you're like, yes, you're conditioned to think this is a safe area.
Right.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
And it attacks you when you go to save.
Not
Yes.
fair. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think that's like more games should do it. The Last of Us 2 did it well, and so did Dead Space. And I think more games should definitely do that.
It's an unfair, cheap
No, there's like a
tactic.
certain feeling to it. The Resident Evil 3 remake did it as well, where you're like, oh, I see a typewriter. I know this room's safe until Nemesis walks through the door. And then like all of a sudden it's not safe anymore, right? You're like, well, you're not supposed to do that.
Right.
And I think it just allows for like good moments that more horror games should have. Yeah. But as far as alien invasions go, Dead Space is tip top. It's one of the best.
It is great.
Yeah.
I left this one off my list because I figured you would have it on yours.
Oh, you're a smart man.
Yes. Good pick.
Thank you.
All right. My number 2. It is a... you might give me some guff for this one. It's not so much aliens, but demons. A demonic invasion. Does that count?
Well, let's hear it.
It's Doom.
Tell me. Oh. Well, I mean, it happened on Mars, and then they come to Earth, right?
Yeah.
No, this counts.
Okay,
this counts.
good.
This counts.
They are alien to us. They are demons from hell, but yes, they are alien invaders.
But it's like Mars is hell. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it's hell.
How does that work? Yeah, but like, why? Yeah. Oh, I guess they open the gateway on Mars.
Exactly.
That's why it's there.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, so they start on another planet. It's fair. It's a fair thing.
I mean, humans playing around with demon hell energy never gets you anywhere. So yeah, might as well start it on Mars, so it'll kind of mitigate any sort of destruction. Doesn't happen that way. The demonic invasion reaches unsafe levels on Mars, and there's a big computer that says so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what a safe level of a demonic invasion is, but it was
minimal.
off the charts. Yeah,
probably
I guess
pretty minimal.
When you're dealing with hell energy and hell priests and such, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Doom is, there's a lot of, it's the classic aliens. It's the classic demons. All sorts of great iterations of them.
I think I'm letting you get away with one here.
Really?
I do.
Really?
Well, you keep calling them demons, Brian. And
alien demons.
Martian demons.
Martian demons.
Yeah. No, it's a good pick.
Creatures from another world.
Well, I mean, it's not. Yeah, exactly. Like dimensional beings are alien, right? So yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
So
they're not from the cosmos, but it's fair.
And they are certainly invading, and that is a problem for everyone.
Yes, it's a huge problem.
Yeah.
Especially like when they get to Earth.
When they get to Earth, they're like they have huge like symbols burned into the entire like plains of Earth. And it's creating a big hell rift.
I should probably go back and beat Doom Eternal.
Dude, the game is so good.
It was
so
cool.
fast.
It was cool.
It's so complicated. Like you have to make decisions like per millisecond.
It's true. It's very quick. Very quick.
Yeah.
Good pick though, man. I always like hearing about Doom.
Perfect.
So I'll allow it.
Okay.
So for my number 2, this one was tricky. I wasn't sure where it should land. So like first it went up a few spots, and then I brought it back down. Then it shuffled left, right. Finally, I decided I should be a decision maker and be a good co-host. So ultimately, it landed here. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It's Contra.
Oh, okay.
I just did the Konami code.
Gotcha. I was like, what? Where is this left and right coming from? Okay. B.A. Man, you're too clever.
I thought you'd pick up on it, my friend. I give you too much credit.
It was weird. Yeah, you do. You really do.
I'm totally joking.
You said I was a smart man a couple seconds ago, and you were wrong.
So Contra, this was definitely the biggest alien invasion game of my childhood. I played this countless amounts of times. Always entered that Konami code for the extra extra lives, and then inevitably fought with my friends over who would get to steal those lives from the other person. But yeah, so it's weird. They're just called aliens. I hate when games do this, right? Like I think Duke Nukem too did it, where they're just called aliens, and many games just call them like aliens, and it's so generic. I like it when they have names like Chimera or Xenomorph or like what is it in Gears? The not the Flood. That's Halo, but
man, now I can't think of it. It's like
the Locust.
The Locust.
The Locust. Yeah.
All the Hive and all that.
Right. And I like when they have, their own unique name. It like gives them more of a personality, right? But in the 80s, you didn't care. It was cool. You got to shoot a bunch of crazy looking aliens on your screen with a buddy, and it was just such a fun time. They gave a name to the main alien in this. There's like quite a crazy story to Contra. If you ever want to hear how crazy the Contra story gets, listen to the main quest episode on it, and he goes into detail about the story of Contra. It's very interesting. Red Falcon is the name they gave to the main alien. I know it's like such an American name. And if you need to fight aliens on terra firma, who better than Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, which is very much who these two main characters are.
Totally.
Yeah. So yeah, my number 2 is Contra, man. Such a big part of my childhood. I don't feel like I talk about the Contra games enough on this podcast, but I love Contra.
Yeah, I feel like I completely missed Contra. I've picked up a controller and pressed buttons on it, but it was never one that I put significant time into.
It still would play well. I think if you went back to the original Contra, you'd still have a good time with it. I know some of the later iterations you'd probably enjoy as well. They're just fun action games, like side-scrolling shooting games. Yeah.
But is it on the Game Boy Advance? Because I would play it there.
I'm positive they had one on. They'd have to, right? Like everything was on the Game Boy Advance. Let's see. All right, you could get into your number 1, and I'll look this up.
All right, my number 1. It will come as no surprise to you, Ryan, but it is the StarCraft franchise.
Of course it is.
Yes. So pick your alien on this one. I mean, the Zerg are the biggest threat to the galaxy. They are the one that both the Terrans and the Protoss eventually are like, hey, we need to team up because this is getting to unsafe levels, and we need to deal with this.
The gross Zerg noises.
Oh, man. That was my race. I love the Zerg so much. So many cool different ways to play them. So many different strategies. The Terrans are boring. That's humans. Who wants to play as that?
I play as that every day.
Right. Protoss is kind of cool, but no. Zerg is where it's at because it is so disgusting. Right. It's like, this is what Scorn, like if Scorn was up, or if StarCraft was up close, it's like Scorn levels of disgusting.
Right.
And I was there for that. So many great noises every time you clicked on a hatchery. Oh my God. Just like the nastiest toilet flush I've ever heard. But yes, the story of StarCraft, some late spoilers. You are humans. One of the people on your team gets like
you could say the name.
Okay, Sarah Kerrigan.
Yeah, everybody knows Kerrigan.
Yeah, they do. She gets infected. She becomes the actual like brood mother for all of the Zerg, to the point where she like gets rid of any higher ups in the Zerg, like hive mind basically. Mm-hmm. And she is the queen. She is the Queen of Blades. She is all that there is, and all of the games follow this. There's 2 expansion, or there's the game, the expansion, and then 3 games in the StarCraft 2 universe, and it all centers around this alien invasion and Sarah Kerrigan being this huge threat to the entire galaxy.
So it's interesting. Did you play? So Kerrigan becomes part of the Zerg after the first game, correct?
She becomes part of the Zerg in the first game. And then Brood War, the expansion, kind of like expands on that.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And it takes all of the games to like get through that storyline, essentially.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see why you're
there's a lot
playing
of
this.
story. It gets very anime at a certain point. So.
I'm sure it does. I remember the story being very, very cool in the first game, though.
Yeah.
I do remember that being like a neat part of that style of game.
Right.
The real-time strategy. It's a good pick. I knew it'd be on your list, man. Another reason it didn't make mine. And I fought the urge to put StarCraft on my list because I really, really wanted to.
It's so good. Anytime I bring it up, I'm like, I need to play StarCraft. I want to like play through the story again, just to see it all. It's so good. Absolutely. I love it.
Absolutely.
But Demon Souls. Focused.
Yeah, you got to play Demon Souls.
That's right.
Yeah. So my number one, Brian, do you know what my number one is?
No, I don't.
Well, it's an incredible alien invasion story. You may just lack the insight to see it. Because my number one is Bloodborne.
Okay.
It's an alien invasion game.
Is it?
Oh gosh, have you beaten Bloodborne?
No, I haven't beaten Bloodborne.
Jesus Christ!
What happens?
Spoilers for Bloodborne.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Spoilers for Bloodborne. Bloodborne leans pretty hard on the whole Victorian England setting.
Yes.
But about halfway through the game, it takes you for quite a loop. And it's very much told in that FromSoft style, where nothing is directly told to you, but you go to. Gosh, I can't even remember where the scholars are, and they're all about the cosmos, right? And you even meet like these great ones who are, it's all alluded that these great ones are from the stars. Like they are cosmic beings. The greatest evidence of it, that one of the bosses you fight is like Abritus, daughter of the cosmos, is actually the name of this boss. And you fight like a huge giant alien. Celestial being or something is his name. I probably should have done more research before talking about it, but I this is all going off of memory, and it takes you for a loop about halfway through where you start seeing the unseen, things like amygdala, and it's apparent like you're not dealing with like werewolves and beasts anymore. You're dealing with the thing that has influenced these creatures, and it's a peel back the curtain moment where all is revealed and you're actually dealing with like a cosmic threat.
Really?
That is beyond human understanding.
So is that the play? Is it like as you get more insight, you get the ability to see what's actually going on?
Yeah. So there's a point in the game where this occurs. Mm-hmm. Like regardless, you will start seeing these things, but you can get enough insight early in the game to see these things. Jeez. if you like crack enough insight. So what do they call it, like madman's knowledge, I think is what it's called in this game.
So does that like recontextualize all the previous areas that you've been to? Like can you go and see things that were actually there? No way, dude. I don't believe this. Really?
So yes, there are. It's not like everywhere you've been you now see things that you didn't see before, but like many of the areas that you had been to prior in the game, you revisit and you see things that you did not see before.
Wow. I need to play this game.
I'm telling you, it's like it threw me for a loop, and it's it's obviously told in like FromSoft fashion, so it's all very vague and like a lot of it is implied, but like this is one of the most direct FromSoft stories in Bloodborne, and it's not up for debate. Like this is definitively aliens that you are dealing with, especially if you get to the final boss. I will put an emphasis on final boss.
Wow. So I should watch a YouTube video explaining it all.
I mean, but I feel like that also muddies the waters,
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate that people like VaatiVidya and so many others put out these explanation videos for things like Bloodborne and all the FromSoft games, but part of my enjoyment of these like the way they tell a story is just kind of like coming up with my own ideas and theories.
Totally.
And like I don't necessarily care if they're right. Like I have my own ideas of what occurred in things like Elden Ring and Bloodborne.
Returnal even had its strength was from kind of like putting your own understanding into it.
Right. But no, this is a cosmic threat in Bloodborne. Like, spoiler alert. Sorry guys.
No, see,
Yeah,
I'm glad to know that. I feel like that's the big thing. Sometimes you just like read a game on its face and like, okay, I know what this game is about. But then you like, how did I not even put Subnautica on here? Because there's freaking aliens in that.
Right.
You know?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Right? Which is not apparent at all when you start the game. So
right.
Yeah.
That's true.
I feel
that's
like
a good point.
That's cool to see, like, yeah. I mean, even Horizon, like, things get recontextualized once you understand what's going on.
Right.
And I'm eager to hear some of your thoughts on some things in the sequel to that game. So, yeah.
Yeah, I do want to play it. Want to play it.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
That's our list,
Those
man.
Are some good
wow.
Picks. This was a fun one. I liked it.
I tried to pull a Dead Space and subvert expectations with my final pick. So
I like it. I mean, I didn't even know any of those aspects of Bloodborne, so that's cool.
Yeah,
you could be making it up, and I'll still believe you.
Perhaps I am. Perhaps
I don't have enough insight.
Perhaps
to know
I haven't
lying.
spoiled anything. Yeah, exactly. Well, good list. Good list. Without further ado, I say we go ahead and debrief.
Okay.
Before we get into our debrief, a little something special. If anybody in here wants to mention a alien invasion that we maybe overlooked, is there one that stands out in your like gaming history that you think deserves to be on a top alien invasion list that maybe we didn't mention, or one that we did mention that you just think is a really good one?
Yeah.
I'll give you 10 seconds to answer, and then we are moving on. Should I count down?
Cue the Jeopardy music.
Yeah, right. Gears of War, of course, Aki. Yes, absolutely. Gears of War. That is something I told you it was on my list, man. And at least I remembered the name of the locust.
You had too much faith in me.
Well, I feel like you have a deeper history with the series. You played more Gears of War games than I have. I played 1 and 2, and I feel like you've played through 4.
I've played all 5 of them, not to completion on the last 2.
Yeah, so it's kind of astonishing that you didn't have them on your list there, Ryan.
I'm sorry, 5 plus Judgment. So yeah, I guess six games.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm trying to say here, Aki, is that you could. That's all on Brian's shoulders.
It is.
Please take out all your anger on him and him alone. And
I love Gears. I do.
Yeah, it's one that deserves to be here. It's not just about like ROM and like, it's not just about like those what?
ROM?
Yeah.
The boss? Is that what you're talking about?
He was like the big boss of the first game.
Yeah.
Right? But man, the thing
it's not just ROM. It's not just Dom. Go ahead.
Not just Ram and Dom. That's right. That's all Gears of Ram and Dom, baby. Yeah. No, it's remember the part like I talk about this every time Gears comes up, where you had to stay in the light.
Yeah.
Or like those things would like chew you up. That freaked me out.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that freaked me out. Nothing's topped Gears. Wow, I should probably play through the rest of the series. I've heard good things about most of the games.
You have them all.
I do have them all. Game Pass. I have Xbox as well, Aki. I know you said earlier you're PC and Xbox. I am Xbox and PlayStation and Switch, but mostly PlayStation and Xbox. So, yeah, it's cool. I'm glad you have a favorite game for sure. We all should. So without further ado, let's get this started. All right, Brian, let's get into it, man. We're list off. We just did alien invasions, so many space themes. Let's keep it going and debrief.
Okay. I will gladly do that.
Okay.
And I will keep the space theme going because you know what I'm going to talk about. And that is Lightyear, because this is the movie that we saw for Father's Day. I was going to talk about it last week, but we did our Kenobi, which was totally fine with that. But yeah, got to see Lightyear, saw it with my almost 4-year-old son. This was the first movie he's ever seen in the theater.
How did he do?
He did great. No issues whatsoever. He watched the movie, ate popcorn, and genuinely enjoyed it. I thought it might have been too loud, but he was fine the whole time. So Lightyear, I think, is a really good movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I am a huge Toy Story fan, so that probably helps. But there is a lot to dig into and love if you are a fan of the Toy Story series. So I'll do a better job than the filmmakers did at the marketing. This is Andy's Star Wars. Like that's it. It's a movie that Andy saw in his universe. Presumably it's a live action movie for him, and he liked it so much and like wanted to get the action figure of Buzz Lightyear. That's it. Whatever other weird stuff the filmmakers kind of got convoluted.
Yeah, it seems like they should have been more direct with that.
Right.
You know, because they did say like, oh, it takes place in the same universe, and I think that's all that was said.
Right.
So it was like, wait, how does this happen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a movie. That's it. But like I said, there's a lot of different like callbacks to Buzz Lightyear and Toy Story things in general. You know, you'll see a lot of the same movements, a lot of the same phrases that Lightyear says. And I think it's a really good just like action movie. I feel like the problem that people are having is that it has the Buzz Lightyear name to it. If this was just like a space story that Pixar was pushing out that didn't have any connection to anything else, I think people would really, really enjoy it. There's a ton of action. There's some subversion of expectations. And, you know, it combines different callbacks that I was talking about. So yeah, people who have watched like all of the movies, who have all this knowledge of it, will probably, you know, think about things in a certain way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a really fun film. Great music by none other than Michael Giacchino. So, you know, I'm going to love it.
Man, that's your man.
It's
dude.
a very like hinges on Star Trek soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I like it. I've been listening to it kind of outside of the movie.
I'll have to tune in. Yeah, I'll have to tune in.
Yeah, you should check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lightyear, really good movie. I would, you know, wait the 2 months for it to come to
it's
Disney
like a month
Plus.
and a half now. It's like a month and a half now.
Dude,
yeah.
like with
Doctor Strange is already there.
Yeah, which I also watched that, but I'll save that for another day.
Yeah, because it's not good.
No matter what man.
It's fine. It's a fine film.
You watched WandaVision, right?
Of course I watched WandaVision.
Okay.
I've seen I'm all caught up, buddy.
Oh,
Don't you lecture me on what I've watched, Brian.
Dude, I am behind on the Moon Knights and the Hawkeyes and the
I will say,
Captain
actually,
America.
I haven't seen any of Miss Marvel because I'm waiting till my wife comes back to watch it with
Miss Marvel, Eternals, Shang-Chi.
You haven't seen Eternals?
None of it.
What, you haven't seen Shang-Chi?
None of it.
Oh my goodness, Brian.
So behind.
Shocking. Good debrief, man. Real healthy debrief. So
okay.
Moving on to my debrief. It's a Netflix series. It's one I think I've actually mentioned in the past when season 2 came out. This was many, many moons ago, but season 3 is out and I tore through it in no time. And that Netflix series is Love, Death, and Robots. There are now 3 seasons of this show. You could tear through it. Anybody could tear through it because it's literally like every episode ranges anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. They are not long episodes whatsoever, and they're all varying time lengths. But it's just so much fun. Each episode tells its own little story, and it's all animation. But every episode is a different animation style. They bring in like different animation teams. There are some between seasons that have had the same animation teams working on them, but for like all of season 1 is unique. Each episode unique, done by unique animators. All of season 2 follows the same pattern. Ton of fun. They range from being silly and funny to just being like awe-inspiring and beautiful to being like downright dark sci-fi horror. And I can honestly say there aren't any episodes I didn't enjoy, because even if they're not the best, they're at least visually impressive. And they usually are only like I said, 5 to 10 minutes. So like, even if it's not as standout, it's not very long, and I enjoy it for the short time I'm watching it. It's not like I'm sitting through an hour and a half of it.
Sure.
but it has some really, really impressive visuals. Some of them aim for realism. They have like one per season that's done in a very realistic style, and each one of those is like, sometimes you can't believe you're looking at, animation. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just something, I think there's something for everyone in Love, Death, and Robots, and definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't already. Nice. It won't take long. Even 3 seasons, it's not going to take you long to get through it. Yeah.
After 10 years, or 10 plus years, we got rid of our Netflix.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
You told me that. You told me that. And here I am suggesting a Netflix show. It's an interesting time to get rid of Netflix because, like, I told you I have, and I piggyback off of somebody else, but like Stranger Things is good now. Like I talked about it a few weeks ago, right. And I'm very much interested to see how the second half of the season is. It's coming out in like a few days here. So,
right.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't get rid of Netflix right now. But,
yeah.
All the other times, the other 11 months out of the year, I would totally get rid of it.
Sure.
Yeah. But that's it. Love, Death, and Robots. Check it out if you
Very cool.
All right. Very cool. Well, without further ado, I'm not going to say goodbye.
No.
Because we have an episode next week, Brian.
We have a big episode.
Guys, in the Twitch chat. Next week is our 2-year anniversary. 2 years, Brian.
We're turning 2.
Yeah. We are slowly churning towards tattoo time.
Tattoos, yeah. We're just starting to talk.
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of tattoo. Okay, yes.
Yeah, 5 years. We're getting our logo tattooed on us. Maybe we could get a redesign out of Kayla by then. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah,
can't wait to put that thing on my butt.
I'm not putting it on my butt. I'm putting it right in the middle of my chest for the world to see. But no, 2 years is astonishing. Thank you to anyone who has ever tuned in and listened to us. We're going to do an AMA, and we're going to announce the winner of our giveaway. The giveaway is our pinned tweet on our Twitter profile, listoff_podcast. You just leave us a review on Spotify or Apple and screenshot it and post it there, and you're eligible to win a $100 gift card. But we're going to announce the winner of that on the show, and we're also doing an Ask Anything. So we'll do a Twitter post during the week and an Instagram story trying to get some questions from people, or you could just join us in the live stream and ask us questions there if that's easier for you. But we're really looking forward to it. Man, it's been such a good time doing this, and I'm sure we'll gush all about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, save your gushy, smoochy stuff for then.
Yeah. Well, I love you. I love you all. All right. Deal with it. And with that being said, we hope you guys have a great week.
See you next week.
Bye.